one. So I just want to talk for a second. I know a few other YouTubers talked about this, and I just want to talk about it too. And give my feedback, I suppose, because I did the survey. But I'm talking about OT released the survey, which they spent €500,000 of you and I's taxpayer money and the TV license fees to find out what the public thinks of it. Now, if they went on Twitter and had a look at what people thinks of OT and had a look how many people paying the TV license and how many's not, they would probably know to themselves if they looked at that. But again, OT, they don't really care too much about it. But here's the thing. OT asked questions, and I'll tell you they were funny, because they didn't give you, I thought when I seen it before I seen it, they would have a comment section underneath. You could say yes or no. Take for example, if you like local stories and local towns, you could either strongly agree, positively agree, take for example, and not agreed, something like that, particularly like that. Don't know, there was 4 answers you could give. Oh, not intro, well, it was something to do with agreed, things like that. Now there's a few, you think they would be able to say, you can give your own opinion, you take and write a bit of an essay if you want to, or write as much as you want, saying, I disagree, we should do local stories because the national pictures matters more. Okay, again, OT didn't ask for that, they didn't care less about what people thought. They asked twice, and I counted it, they asked twice for people to give feedback. And very probably wouldn't even pass much remarks on what people had to say. That's the only time they've asked anybody to write personally what they think about OT. And mine was very good, I have to say. I was like, just defund OT, give the money to people who deserve it, to the homeless, put it towards housing, put it towards anything else. But apart from OT, they need to be bulldozed. And that's what I put down. And then I put down for my second thing, OT should not be taking the side of the politicians all the time. Should be taking the side of the people more and covering stories that matter to the people, not that matters to the politicians. Because again, they didn't cover with the government's pay, or the TD's pay rise. They just looked the way as I said they would do. The truth matters, doesn't it? The truth matters. Like, you have to laugh. But here's the thing. One of the questions, I know Dan the Mixtape talk about this, because I actually laughed when I seen it too, and I think he laughed too. That how important do you think it is to hold people in power, politicians, people in power in this country, to account? And after I seen that, I was just like there's a need to be asked. Do they think people, well, in this country they think we're a pile of fools? That's OT and the rest of us, the rest of the government think that we're a pile of fools, that are just roll over whatever tax they give us, we just pay it. And that's what they think. That's what they tried to do with the water charges. They thought we'd just sit down and take it, and just take it to the gut and just pay it and wouldn't fight back. But little did they know, they had a big fight on their hands that time with the water charges. And we kind of need the same thing for the TV license, because the OT needs to be bulldozed. Because it's just hopeless. OT is just hopeless at the moment. What they're doing. Sometimes they do good journalism, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they go out of their way and do a bit of good journalism. And they cover stories that matter. Not about Tom and the Hat over there. And they don't hold politicians account. Like, you don't hear them giving out about Micheál Martin or asking very serious questions to Micheál Martin about the lockdowns and things like that. Like, one question, for example, OT should ask Micheál Martin: how many kids at the moment in time in this country have no roof over their head? And ask that very straight. And he'd probably go on whinging and quibbling and crying about his own story, whatever he has to say, but he talks shite anyway. But OT should ask him very seriously, not let him up until he answers the question. Or how many children at the moment are waiting for mental health services because of the lockdowns, because they can't see their friends? And just keep them down, keep asking the question. I wouldn't let them out. Because again, OT, I've never seen OT ever try to do that to somebody. Gang up on somebody and just won't let them move. Put pressure on the politicians. Because again, Fitz and Brown, before you remember when Stephen Donnelly was on Fitz and Brown ate him out of it. And literally, Stephen Donnelly was ate out of it when he went to Fitz and Brown. And the same with the fellow for the unions too in Labour. He had to walk off Fitz and Brown's show because Fitz and Brown just tore into him. And he was right to do so, but yeah, here's the thing, as I said, it is the biggest laugh going. That they had to even have the audacity to say, do you think we should hold politicians to account? Do you think we should? Because I think OT's already made up their mind about this. They don't want to. The money talks again. Um, there's no need to hold politicians to account. That's more or less what OT's trying to tell us. And we don't care what your opinion is on this. We're just going to do our own thing. Um, welcome to the Banana Republic. Again, it's a joke that spent 500,000. I think it did anyway, but I don't know what spent the 500,000. But again, the best thing is when you do a poll or you do a survey or things like that, you give space. You give them loads of space for each question to put down the letter, even if it's say over 100 words, just for some, to give them an extra bit of feedback. OT didn't like that. Obviously, 2 out of about good probably 30 to 40 questions at most. And you can only write your opinion twice. And obviously that would be ignored, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to be too positive, because in the majority of them, I was like, I don't agree with OT whatsoever. On a few things, I did say yes, it is important, and obviously holding politicians to account is extremely important. And OT probably thinks everybody would just say, no, we don't need to have any regulations on politicians. So look at Leo the Link. OT never covered it when he went to the park. They never holded them to account. The same with Goffgate. Never holded anybody to account. There should be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, banging on Seamus Wolf's door, saying, come out, face us like a man. Because he's never given an interview to OT, to Primetime, or to that, why he went. And if that was the good media, then this is good journalism. If a journalist went to his house and just kept banging on the door and banging on the door 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until he came out and gave an interview and asked them some hard questions. But they never done that. Never done that to any of them. Again, Fitzgerald was there. The time he went to a house to go on the other side of Dublin, he just waltzed in and trespassed, and he just went around the place. He didn't care. But again, that's why people who need journalists like that. They just knock on his door, keep knocking on his door, and ask him some hard questions, Seamus Wolf, and why he got a pay rise too. But again, you don't see OT swanning off to his house trying to figure out why he's doing this. But again, this is Ireland. This is 2021 Ireland. It is an absolute mess. Like, literally, the mess is not even big enough. Again, it's just a tsunami after tsunami after tsunami, and we're just getting washed into the water every 10 seconds. Like, they give us wishy-washy stories. That's really what they do. I believe the man in the shed, to be honest with you, than the people in the top and the people in OT. But then, as one teacher said to me, OT is the virus. Because OT they don't represent anybody in society apart from the government, the banks, the bondholders. They don't represent you and I, the people who pay them. I rest my case. Thank you.